Hi everyone, Tech Assistant Chris here from the Okanagan Regional Library. So I got home the other day and my computer mouse had stopped working properly. Let me show you how I diagnosed and fixed the mouse. First, I connected the mouse to my computer and tested it by trying to scroll through a web page. It points just fine, but when I try to scroll down, the page bounces up and down. That's no good. A brief examination reveals that this mouse is filthy after months of use. Yuck. It definitely needs cleaning. Now I know this is an optical mouse. That means instead of a rotating ball underneath like the old school mice, it uses an LED, that is a light-emitting diode, that bounces light off of the mouse pad to a sensor inside the mouse to tell the computer when and in what direction the mouse is moving. A quick check showed me that the opening for the LED on the bottom of the mouse was perfectly clean, so that can't be the problem. That left the mouse wheel. Clearly, something was wrong with the wheel. I started to clean up the mouse a little using a toothpick and a Q-tip to get some of the grease and gunk out of the seams. Then I made my first mistake. I tried to use isopropyl alcohol to clean the mouse. This works on hard plastics like the bottom and the sides of this mouse, but I forgot that the top of the mouse was a soft touch plastic. There's a layer of rubbery material that makes the mouse easier to grip in the hand. Isopropyl alcohol will turn that soft plastic into a layer of goo. Once I damaged the top layer, the only choice was to continue to soften it with the alcohol and scrape it all off. Oops. To avoid this kind of disaster, use a non-alcohol wipe or a soft cloth slightly dampened with plain water to clean your mouse. So after scraping all the goo off, I sanded the top of the mouse with some sandpaper to hide the damage. It's not perfect, but it'll do for now. Then I examined the mouse to see how the layers were held together. I could see telltale cylindrical shapes in the plastic molding. These columns of plastic are generally strengthened areas that mean that screws or bolts are attaching to them from the other side. Sure enough, buffing the sticker underneath the mouse revealed a screw hidden under the sticker. I removed the screw. The mouse still wouldn't come apart, so I knew there had to be more clips or screws holding it together. I checked under the little slider pads at the front, and sure enough, there were 2 more screws hidden underneath. I was lazy, and I just pushed a screwdriver straight through the sliders, and it damaged them, so don't be lazy like me. Peel them off first, and then put them back on once you've finished reassembling your mouse. So with the screws removed, I carefully pried the top off, paying attention to any plastic clips that needed to be released. I was careful not to pull any wires out too. I don't want to cause any more problems than I started with. Inside this mouse, the mouse wheel is connected to a gear-like mechanism that reads the wheel's rotation. This part is called the encoder. It was gummed up with hair and lint, so I removed the offending material with a toothpick. And that's when it became apparent that the mouse wheel was made of 2 parts, a rubber ring like a car tire mounted on a plastic hub, and the problem with my mouse is that the rubber part of the wheel was rotating on the hub, so no movement was being registered by the encoder. Sometimes car and truck tires spin on their wheels too. In order to fix this, the bead around the edge of the tire is screwed or bolted onto the rim of the wheel. 4x4 and off-road drivers call these bead locker wheels. Now I could try and engineer a tiny little bead locker system for my mouse wheel, or I could do something that 4x4 truck drivers cannot. I can glue the rubber tire back onto the plastic hub. I used super glue to glue the rubber ring onto the plastic hub and reinstall the mouse wheel. Now when I rotate the mouse wheel, the hub mechanism moves too. I think this is probably going to fix the problem, so it's time to put the mouse back together. With the mouse back together, I plugged it into the computer and gave it a try, and luckily the problem is now fixed. I can scroll web pages up and down smoothly, and everything seems to work perfectly now. So thanks for joining me for this quick fix, and if you want to know more details about how an optical mouse works, there are a couple great web pages with an explanation and videos linked in the description. Thanks for joining me, like and subscribe if you'd like to see more cool videos on this channel, and I'll see you next time.